Welcome everybody to our Fierce Friday. Today is April 7th, and I am so excited to have each and every one of you here with us. Today's going to be a business-focused Zoom, and we're so excited to be bringing the whole community together to just learn and grow together here with the Million Mom Movement. So each one of you are an incredible part of our community, and we thank you all for taking this time out of your busy lives every Friday to join us and learn and grow together. My name is Naiva Flory. I've been a part of Purium for 8.5 years. This business has made it possible for me to be a stay-at-home mom. I started this business when I was about 4 months postpartum and pretty quickly replaced my part-time income within my first couple months and actually never went back to work after that. So I am very proud to say that Purium has been a huge blessing in my life and the life of so many others. And I'm super grateful for the people that get to share their stories here today with you, because they're really powerful stories that will inspire you for what's possible. And I also have my Million Mom Movement Council members here today, Taz Ferreira and Michelle Ricci. And we are going to be sharing a little bit of in the news with you, as Easter's just right around the corner. So I'm going to pass it over to Taz to share that with you.
Thank you so much, Naiva. Okay, so happy Easter, everyone. Okay, so let me share. Here we go. Okay, so Easter is supposed to be about families and tradition and celebration, right? But what we've noticed is that it has become so unhealthy. We're not just talking about the food that we're feeding everyone, but let's look at the plastic that we're using and all of the microplastic and the non-sustainable materials. So here are suggestions to transition into a more healthier lifestyle on all levels during Easter. So hop into sustainability. I love how that begins. Eco-friendly Easter egg hunts, right? So choose sustainable eggs. So what does that mean? Okay, so you can get wooden eggs. You can make these eggs out of papier-mâché. So super simple, and you can get the whole family involved. This is why I love this, because now the family can take part in this activity. And you know what? They start feeling proud of what they made and what they've made together. And this could be a memorabilia that you pass on to your future generation as well. Okay, there's find environmentally friendly fillers. Okay, you know what's my favorite? You know, when we order all of our superfoods, we have that packaging inside. Why don't we use that? We can use that to make these fillers, right? You can stuff them in the eggs, or you can use that as a wrapping, or you can use this with a papier-mâché. Add that glue, wet it, and reuse it. Did you guys know that our packaging is completely compostable? Well, why not use our packaging as well? I mean, there's so many creative ways that you can cut it, and you can use it in like an egg basket maybe. There's so many different ways that we can reuse our packaging and not contribute to the waste of the landfill. And I mean, there's so much waste. And the more we become aware of it, the more we can share this with our children and our families. More eco-friendly ideas. So do reusable bags, reusable baskets, instead of all the plastic containers. I mean, I know when I go into those dollar stores, as soon as you walk into the Easter section or any holiday, it's always filled with plastic. And we have to try to find ways to be aware and to speak up, because they're looking to us as consumers to see if this is something we care about. And you know what? We do. And the Million Mom community, this is something that is near to our hearts, not just what we put in our bodies, but what we have in our lifestyle. So there's another article that we found that I need to share with you guys. So 10 non-candy basket ideas, right? I've heard so many people, the moms, that they tell us that, okay, I can't bring candy into the school anymore. Right? We have better ideas. So here are great. How cute is that? Making this out of cotton or some type of fabric. And also on the Million Mom Movement Instagram page, we reposted some great ideas, how to use a juice bar in the bag and dye the eggs. So look into that with your family. And so it could be a great craft that you can introduce for everyone. So the Green Thumb Easter basket, you can make colorful ideas using eco-friendly ingredients. An eco-friendly spy kids adventure. This could be great. You guys can have, come up with, an adventure together, hiding eggs, maybe clues, maybe superfoods. What is this superfood good for? And making it around the house or in the backyard. That sounds like so much fun. Wholesome goodies, Easter basket. Okay, so Easter can be so full of unhealthy ingredients. I mean, look at ingredients such as titanium dioxide. This is an ingredients they put in sunscreen, and they put in Skittles, and they put in a lot of the candies that they've advertised for our kids. And what I've noticed in the past, I think week, California actually put a ban on this toxic ingredient. So that's great for California, but how about the rest of us, right? So let's be aware and not support these ingredients. Then we have all of the artificial dyes, and let's not forget to look for palm oil. Palm oil is a secret ingredient that I find that they hide in so many of the candies that we just skim through. But let's be aware and look through them. So you have the candy-free Easter baskets. You can put erasers, you can put pencils, you can put so many colorful things, crayons. I mean, there's so many things that we can do to make our Easter more sustainable. Sun-kissed summer Easter basket with, maybe super xanthan. That is my sunscreen of choice. And reusable water bottles. How about putting our Purium type aluminum bottle? That could be fun. How about even, I just had this idea of decorating the bottle. That could be a great idea to give away as well. We have crafts. There's so many things that you can do. Get outside, right? That's a great tip, to go outside and enjoy nature and spend time as a family. And mindful relaxation Easter baskets. So maybe instead of doing papier-mâché, you can do bath bombs. It's the same shape as an Easter egg, but there's other things that we can do. And there's so many ways that we can do this together and become more sustainable in our Million Mom movement. So back to you, Naiva.
Wow, I love it. Such incredible ideas, and, so many ways that we can be earth friendly and still vote with our dollar and, act upon basically our passion about what we're sharing about all the time to make this world a better place for ourselves and our future generations. And with the sustainability, that's what this call is all about today, right? Not only our sustainable business, but the sustainability of our practices here on Earth and how we can make this a better place for our future generations and our sustainable future. So with that, I just want to thank you so much, Taz, for that in the news piece. And we have a special guest that is going to hop on here and share some of her story. She's a mother of 4. She's been in Purium for 2 years now, building her business. She's currently a diamond in the company, and she's had some personal success and has an incredible story. So I want to go ahead and welcome Lisa Soltze on the line.
Hi, I hope you guys can hear me okay. I am at our spa, and so it might be a little loud. I apologize. But yes, thank you so much for inviting me. So I have been a Purium customer for 2 years, and just recently, I would say in the last 6 months, started introducing it to our clients. And the reason for that is obvious. I wanted to make sure, I just saw such success in myself. 26 years of just trying to feel better, trying to feel healthy. And Purium, as you guys already know, you're huge believers, it's completely changed my life. And so I felt very confident and comfortable in bringing it into our wellness spa. And it is changing the lives of so many clients that have been stuck. So we do something called infrared sauna pods here. And, the ATP and all the things that, if you're a wellness guru, all the benefits, but I felt like we could get people to a certain level, maybe feeling 60% better, 70% better, but just there wasn't 100%. And that's my goal with everybody, is getting them to feel 100%. And it's happening every day. And it really just, I was telling you that the business just really happened naturally, organically. I had been used to selling wholesale, you buy something wholesale and then you resell it to your client. And so I wasn't familiar with this industry, social selling. And so it took me a while to understand. And thankfully, I had an amazing mentor who just was very patient with me and really, truly let me do it my way. And it's been a huge blessing financially for our sweet little spa, and really for mostly just the health of our clients. And I really do, I know this is about, the sustainability. I love the fact that the packaging is that, and we're getting away from plastic, and it's really made me more mindful. I do have 4 kids. Mine are all grown. I have a 26-year-old who just got married, who now I have a son, and all the way down to an 18-year-old daughter who's graduating high school this year. But all 4 of them are in some way taking these wonderful superfoods. Even my son, my 20-year-old son, who is a stinker and loves to open a can of Mountain Dew in front of me, and but he is doing it. And so what a blessing, just knowing at least he's getting in the good stuff. So yeah, it is life-changing, and so honored and so blessed that this was brought into my life.
That's so wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about how this has impacted your life with having the second stream of income and not having to carry inventory in your spa, but actually being able to just tap into building a team and that residual income.
Okay, yeah, that has truly been amazing, because if you know, or maybe you don't know, but if you purchase something wholesale and you don't sell it, you just lose the money. I absolutely love the fact that our clients we just sign them up and they get it sent right to their home. It is so nice not to have to incur that cost. It's been really life-changing. And as far as an income stream, and again, I've only been doing it for a very short time, it has been amazing. We had to shut down during COVID, so it has been rough, our business. But this second stream of income, I actually anticipate this being way more than what our wellness spa has been able to create, which is a huge blessing. And then the building the business or a team, that also happened organically. That happened from just clients loving it. A therapist that had been watching me on social media actually came to me and said, "This feels right. I want to do this with you." So it's been wonderful, because I didn't know how to build a team in the social selling world. I didn't. I was honestly afraid of it. It didn't make sense to me in my business brain, but it makes sense now.
Beautiful. And so you reached Diamond fairly quickly. Do you want to share some of that story with us of how how the products impacted your life, and then also how that team started to build, like you started to share right now with us, but let us know that story about how quickly you reached Diamond and how that feels to you to have that second stream of income. So that if, God forbid anything happens again where businesses have to shut down, the impact that this will have on your future.
It really would save. It would save if we had to shut down. This extra income that is being brought in by Purium would save our spa for sure. Reaching Diamond quickly, it's just simple as saying, every single person, every client that walks in these doors or reaches us via the Instagram or Facebook, if they are in front of me, they want it, because I am so passionate, and the passion just everybody needs it. If you need air, you need Purium. And I mean that when I'm passionate about something. And honestly, people trust. If they trust me. They've seen me here, they've seen me online, and they trust me. And I've been very careful with what I will promote. I didn't bring much into Luxology because I didn't feel it was healthy. So that for me that's how I grew. I just told everybody, and then it's easy. Once they're on it, they feel amazing. And of course they're going to stay on it. That's another thing I would say is, it takes a lot to get that customer to start, but it's so important to stay in communication with them and be their support, because you want them for life, because why would they not want to be on it? So that's kind of my that's my philosophy.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'm so excited for you and your future, and that you always have this backup plan. You always have this plan B, and hopefully it will become your plan A eventually, like it has for many of us. But thank you so much for sharing your story today. And if we have time at the end, we'll open it up for questions. Thank you, Lisa. So we
Thank
have
you.
one, yeah. So we have one more guest, and she's an incredible leader in our community. She's a mother of 5. She's currently raising 2 of her grandchildren. She used to be a wedding planner, and in 2020, her business shut down. So she owned a wedding planning company, which was in person. And as many of us know, so many of those businesses had to shut down during that time. And so she was introduced to Purium, which at the time she didn't have a plan B, and she was really looking for something that could help her to create an income online, which she hadn't done in the past. And she was introduced to Purium that really impacted her life. And now she's an incredible leader in our community. She's currently a Red Diamond. She also has a wellness center, Rose Tree Wellness, and is a regenerative health practitioner. So I'd love to welcome you on, Jen Rawson.
Thank you so much for having me. Gosh, there's just so much to share. I think that, the most amazing thing that I've ever done is say yes to Purium. So I said yes at the very end of COVID, well, 2020, the COVID year, the year we don't want to talk about. But I was this person that was like rose-colored glasses, like everything's going to work out. But at the end of 2020, I was like a shell of a human. I couldn't pay my mortgage. My business was shut down, like you said. And I was looking for a solution, not only for my own health, but for my family, for my friends, because everyone was suffering so badly with COVID and many other ailments. My mom was in the hospital, and just, it just felt like doom and gloom, everywhere you looked. And when I was introduced to this, I said yes because of the health benefits, 100%. But when I first started, I cannot help but share. So I literally, day 3 was like, what is in my body? I have to tell every single human about this. I used to get shooting nerve pain in my body. That was debilitating. And the 3rd day, 6th day, all of that went away. And so I was kind of shouting it from the rooftops, and I just could not even believe what I had found. And I quickly grew this business. And what I love, the biggest difference for me is that I was building an online platform, which I hadn't built before. So as a wedding planner, you can imagine how much waste there is, because this is about sustainability. But because you had asked me, a couple of questions about that prior to this call, like, what is the biggest difference? And honestly, the biggest difference for me was like, I used to print so much paper, because every wedding just needed so much stuff printed out. And then even just being, in one place at one time, I'm only one person, so I can only do so many weddings at a time. And then even at the actual wedding, you guys, there's so much waste for events. I mean, I would order gobs of food that would just be in the wastebasket after. I mean, just so much waste. They would, even favors and all these other things that I would order for these luxury weddings are just in the trash. And I didn't even realize I was contributing to so much waste on the planet. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't this person that cared really much about the earth before. I mean, I was a wedding planner. I was like, okay, well, this is what I do. And when I started with Purium, I started realizing how important it is to be sustainable and to bring things online and to stop printing everything. And, I can take notes on my phone. I can do all of these things. And this really helped me be so much more efficient as well with my time. And I'm a very business-minded person, very similar to Lisa. It took me a minute to kind of flip the switch and kind of figure out like, oh, this is like a business I can really build online and create a secondary income for my family. Within like 1 month, I made at the same income I did that took me at least 3 years to build full income in my wedding planning business. So I was like, what the heck? So then my second month, I doubled my full-time income. And then my third, I just kept going. And I'm like, hello, this is obviously the business of the future. Like, I just was so passionate, very similar to Lisa. Like, when you are passionate about something, passionate about the food that you're eating and the quality of the food and the company you serve, it is just easy to talk to people. It's easy to share that fire. It's easy to share a passion. And people just wanted to get in with that passion. And it has really transformed my life in so many different areas. You know, I used to drive all over the metro areas. I mean, I used gas like nobody's business. Literally, I was like, I put so many miles on my car because I'm going to this place to meet with this client, going to this venue and going, you know, and now I've switched everything over because I make 5 times the amount of money and I work like an hour or 2 a day, if that, on Purium. And I'm like, well, I'm working less, putting in less hours, not on my car, being around my family. You know, I've had to, the last, you know, few months, it's like I've had a lot going on in my family. It has been kind of one of the hardest times in my family. We've taken in our grandkids and we're trying to support my stepdaughter. And it's been emotionally, physically just draining on my family. And I've had to take a moment for myself and my kids and my family. And the beautiful sustainability of this business is that it's okay. Like, I didn't lose everything. Like, when you stop working for a 9 to 5, you don't continue to make money. If you stop working as a wedding planner, I don't make the money. Like, I couldn't stop working if I was continuing to do events. And so I had to basically pull way back, stop working this beautiful business because of where I'm at. I've had to put a lot of time and energy into my children and my grandchildren. And this business has held me up. My team has held me up. And that's the beautiful part of building a strong foundation with Purium, is that when moments like this come up, it's okay. You know, you've built a team that can rally around you. And, you know, I'm still working here and there, of course, as much as I can, but it's just such a beautiful thing that life happens, things happen. And when you have something like this that is sustainable, that residual income lifts you up in time of need. And then when you are ready to run, it's going to even help you more, of course, as you know, work more and give it more, you know, energy. So I think I covered everything of my story, but if you have any other questions, I'm happy to go into more detail.
Absolutely. I love hearing your story. It's so impactful. And you shared so many golden nuggets just from being able to, you know, not from Lisa's story, not having to carry inventory, to your story of, you know, being able to take this time off now that you've built it. And, you know, there's so many great tips here within, you know, what you've both shared. And, yeah. So how do you see this? Like, you have a team, a thriving team that's growing, and you're currently able to take this time off. I know you just went to Mexico with your family and, you know, you're raising your grandchildren. I mean, that is just incredible to have that type of income that is residual continually coming in no matter what. And even like you said, when life circumstances come up, which we never know when something's going to happen, it's the unforeseen. And so I love that you shared that. You know, it's like you just never know when something might happen, and you need to take time to focus on your family, on your children, on your grandchildren, and really have that time. And that you only have to work 1 or 2 hours a day and tune in with your team and do a little bit of coaching and help the team members that are needing some support. And other than that, you can really sit back and take a moment for yourself to take a couple deep breaths. So I love everything that you shared. And definitely, what would be like your few tips that you would share with the community of what has really impacted your business, or what you would suggest for others that are maybe feeling a little bit stuck or that are currently still in the building stages? What tips could you leave with them?
Yeah, thank you. For sure. This community is so awesome. I would say if you are feeling stuck, you just have to action. Action kills fear. Honestly, the reason why we're stuck is because we're in our head. We're just in our head about reaching out or talking to people. And, I think people are like, well, where do you get your confidence from? And it's like, sometimes in the beginning, you have to steal your confidence from someone else. If you don't know how to talk or what to say or how to share it, it's like you just ask your upline or ask somebody that knows more than you. And failure is our biggest teacher. It's okay to fail. That's actually amazing. It's amazing to fail. Do you know how many times I failed? Countless times. And I think that failing forward is a thing. I even within my wedding planning company, I bring on people that don't know what the heck they're doing. It's like, of course I'm way better at this than you. I've been doing it for 15 years. How do I teach someone to be an expert when they're brand new? It's like, you just start. You just do it afraid. And I would say, if you are feeling stuck, we all get stuck. I'm 2 years into this. It's like, okay, who am I going to reach out to today? It's like every day is a new day, a new chance to reach out to new people. If you are in your home, go to a coffee shop, go to a different place, go hang out at a different gym, go work from somewhere else. Literally, I sat down in a coffee shop today and I was like, do you mind if I sit here? And she's like, yeah, but what are you working on? And I just started a conversation with like 5 people who were sitting around me because they just asked me what I was doing there. So it just falls into your lap, these new people and new faces. If you feel like you have a small community or people that you've already talked to your 10 friends or whatever and they're not ready, well, make new friends. There's always people around you. There's billions of people on this planet. On Instagram, find the person that, has the same hashtags as you, or like my Instagram is Clean Living Jen. And when I look up at Clean Living, do you know how many other people have clean living in their thing? Then I just go to their pages and I was like, oh my gosh, we have the same stuff in common and you're a mom too. And I love that. And just start making friends on the internet. If they're crazy, you can block them. If they're awesome, then you just made a new friend. And don't be afraid to just start talking about what you're passionate about. It's okay if they're not ready. And I love that Dave Sandoval has said, like, if they still want to drink their Coke, that's their business. It's okay. Like, let them do them. If they're not ready, that's okay. And, it just takes the pressure off. It's not about you. Like if they're saying no, it's not about you. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves. And they're going to come eventually. They're going to come. They're going to not feel good. And they're going to remember that you feel awesome every day. So.
Absolutely. Oh, I love everything that you shared. Such great tips. And, in this business, I often say we're professional friend makers. If we don't feel like we have a great network or we don't have any friends that are ready or can afford the products that we have, then go make new friends. And like you said, we can find friends online with, common hashtags. We can go to coffee shops, gyms, so all these places. And so many people have need exactly what we have. And like, I love that what you shared earlier in your story, as a wedding planner, you weren't even really aware of the type of waste that you were impacting with that business until you became a part of this community and your mindset started to change, right? Certain ideals started to change where you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize I'm creating so much waste and it's not good for the planet. And, now that you're in Purium and we've transitioned out of plastic packaging and these things have become a part of your awareness and a part of, what we have with our sustainability. And so I love how we can actually help transition so many people from the mainstream lifestyle of not really caring or even knowing that they're having such a huge impact on the planet to actually caring and wanting to make a difference. And so that was kind of my aha moment. I really love that you kind of shared that transition because it's so true. We can make a bigger impact if we can help more people have the realization, have the awakening, and, have the desire to make better choices on the planet. And so I think that's just golden right there. I want to go ahead and open it up if anybody has questions for Lisa or Jen. These two ladies have such incredible stories, and they're both professional business owners, like they both shared with you, and very driven, very passionate. And I'm just so excited to just haven't heard your whole story, which I didn't hear originally. We just kind of like shared little tidbits and I took some notes. And so I love everything you shared. And Michelle has a question. So Michelle, go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, I'll break the ice. I know sometimes it's hard to put your hand up, but we really love the interaction with the community. And I do have questions. So I have questions for both of you. Lisa, I'd love to hear, people don't necessarily think to go into a spa or a chiropractor's office or things like that and have a conversation. It feels like those people might be like, removed. You don't want to bother people. And so being a spa owner, what was the thing that interested you, and what would you tell people to kind of break out of that? Because really, when we're not sharing it, we're doing a disservice to everyone, including spa owners. So do you have any advice for the field on how to maybe approach that doesn't feel weird and salesy?
Yeah, well, somebody that introduced it to me was someone I trusted. But you're right, as an owner of a business, we do get inundated a lot. So I would just suggest coming in with just that knowledge, just recognize it, own it. But I would always go in with client testimonies and really tap into friends or family, or if you people, like if they see a chiropractor already, and have them introduce you as, hey, these superfoods have really changed her business. I'd love to share it with you. But it takes trust, because we are jaded. But yeah, I think just building that trust and always having a client story would be my recommendation.
So the person that you trusted, how did they present this to you? Did they give you a sample? Did they just say, I started something and I really think you should look at it, could help your clients? How did they move that conversation forward with you?
Yeah, she was actually an acupuncturist here at our spa. So and then she had and again, I was very resistant. I didn't understand the social selling. So it took time. It took me 2 years. So I think that's another thing, is never give up. Like what Jen was saying, at some point I was like, there was something that drew me to it. And I tried it. And I didn't even start the business right away, but I started to feel better and my body was just drawn to it. So that's how I started.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Jen, I have a question for you, but I kind of lost it. So I'll let Taz go and then I'll pop back around.
Hello. Okay, those are amazing stories. Thank you both. So Jen, first of all, I don't know how you're a grandmother. Okay, that's incredible. First, let's just say that. And you both were talking about, well, you especially, Jen, was talking about fail forward, right? So I would love to know, what was the biggest hurdle that you found that brought you to your success?
That's such a great question. And I married a man much older than me who had children when I met him. So that's how I'm a step grandma. So thank you. I still am young. Praise the Lord for that. But no, I would say, gosh, the biggest hurdle is really managing my time with being such a busy entrepreneur and mother and grandmother, and all of us together, it's 9 people in our immediate family, of course, and I'm extremely busy with my church life and my my friend life and social life and all that stuff. And so honestly, it's funny because I look for the busiest people in my life to talk to them about the business. Because busy people get stuff done. They know how to manage their time. And, the thing is, I was at the time looking to fill my time because I was shut down. I was shut down with COVID. But when, talking through like how I built my business, honestly, I just went fast because it was fun. Honestly, it was like super fun. It was like, oh my gosh, this person feels good too. Yay. And we're doing it together. And then I just like kept it light. Like I didn't I wasn't like, I didn't overthink it. I just was like, you guys, I just started on this. This is what it's doing for me. This is the impact it's having on my income. Like, I thought of you because, and I just created my own little spiel. Like I didn't wait for myself to have the perfect thing to say. But the biggest hurdle that I had was like in the beginning, I was working a lot because I was talking to a ton of people. Like, I mean, I was starting at least 10 conversations a day and then continuing with the follow-up of all of those past conversations. So, I mean, as you can imagine, and they were all basically text messages. And then a lot of them ended up being, you know, one-on-one, contacts. And then I'm Carrie Drinkwine is my dear friend, and she was helping me. She and I were literally on so many one-on-one calls that we were like, this is dumb. We're going to start doing group calls, because it was not dumb, but I just mean like, it was just not suiting our lifestyle. Like it was not, you know, we're preaching from the rooftops, like time, you know, work-life balance, and we had no balance. We were just on constant calls. And so that's when we started, 2 to 3 group calls a week at that time. And so that was the big like learning curve, was like, okay, we can't, this is not sustainable to just do one-on-one and one-on-two calls, where we were funneling, you know, people into these group calls and really protecting our time, protecting our life, protecting our family life. Because the thing is, there's a real thing called burnout. And you can get that in any stage of any entrepreneurship. You can get that with, you know, social sharing. You can get that in all of it. And so you have to be able to protect the things you love, and discipline protects the things you love. And so being very disciplined with your time, disciplined with saying no to certain things, it is okay. At the beginning, I was just saying yes to everything. And so having that learning curve of like, it's okay to say, oh yeah, I'm not available at that time, even if I am. Because I care about myself. You know, because if we are burning out ourselves, what do we have to give? It's kind of like that airplane, you know, put your mask on first before you help somebody else, your children or whoever. And it's so true. If you are, you know, laying there not feeling good, you can't help anybody else. So.
What a great response. Thank you so much. And I'm hearing, you know, time efficiency, you know, and boundaries, like everything you said spoke to my soul. Thank you so much. How about you, Lisa?
Sorry, it was stuck. You just hurdles, is that what you're saying? I think one of the things that I would say that was super important to me is, I kind of had to learn on my own all the benefits of the products, if that makes sense. So I think my biggest suggestion would be, if you are a business owner, really know the benefits and what sets Purium apart, especially because that person had asked me about going into chiropractors and things. We are different. Purium is different. There's a million green shakes out there, and there's amino acids out there. But for me, my own personal hurdle was, I think, first getting over, like, I'm no longer going to sell wholesale. I'm now doing the social selling. I didn't really understand that. But I think if I would have learned and really understood what these products were doing and I don't mean like go into too much depth, because that can get overwhelming for people, but it is different. And these products are different. They are superior to anything out there. And I think that's the message. Had I known that and learned that intimately at the beginning, and that was on me, was not anybody's fault. I was just a busy owner, and it didn't, capture me. I was like, well, okay. But I started feeling better. And then I started really digging in and like, oh, what is, like, when somebody would say to me regenerative farming, I'm like, I'm out. I am a city girl. I just want to go to Whole Foods and buy my stuff, but it matters. And so once I start telling people that, I'm always like, don't check out here, but it does matter. The way our food is grown, how it's dried, how it's packaged, it matters. And that's what sets us apart. And I think that was one of my biggest hurdles. Hope that answered your question.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Naiva.
I think I remembered my question for Jen, if we have time, Naiva.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Jen, well, first of all, congratulations. I had no idea you opened a center, and you know, amazing. Just really, I can remember, I don't know if it was your first 30 days or 60 days, but I remember being on a team call with you and we were all sobbing, or maybe only about 20 of us, but you had hit rank and had gone so fast, and with COVID and everybody was just weeping. So how amazing, and congratulations. And thank you both for being on the call. Camille's touching on it in the comments. She wants to know how you guys do group calls and how you give individual case and answer questions in that setting. And I guess that's what I want to talk a little bit, or have you talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts, especially growing so fast and then finding yourself with a big team, still talking to people. That's not duplicatable. So what structures did you end up putting in place that you still use today that are really helpful as your business continues to grow, that duplicates and that provides you your sanity and the time that you want with your family?
Yeah, but thank you so much. So yeah, the biggest thing is in the follow-up, and you know, I'm not going to say that I have it perfect. That sometimes it's messy. Sometimes I'm writing my follow-ups on a quick little piece of paper that I'm going to then put into a spreadsheet. But, you know, making sure that you're organized, whatever system you choose, making sure you're organized, whether it's a notebook where you are writing people's names down and you're, you know, have a check mark for every follow-up that you do for them, or whatever it is, just like not forgetting people. Or if you even have like a highlighter, you know, this highlighter, you know, you have orange for the people you just met and then yellow for the people you followed up with, or whatever your system is, just following that system is really key. And then in regards to the group calls, the way that we have structured and taught our team is they have to have watched a video about our lifestyle transformation, or at least something. If they're interested in the business or whatever it might be, we have business opportunity calls, and then we also have health opportunity calls. And every week we have health several times a week. And right now we only do once a month business opportunity calls, because we have had so much success recording so many amazing calls that we send those out. And then we do one-on-one calls with business prospects only. But if it's a health opportunity, we do group calls. So the way that we do it is because they have watched a video, whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever that is. Sorry, my dog. I'll just show you so it doesn't look like I have this weird person sitting in my lap. This is my dog. But the way that we structure it is that when people come on, we do a short little intro, like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we're about. We're here to answer your health questions. What are your goals? We're here to help you. And then we literally they raise their hands and they say, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm struggling with. Like, I don't know what the answer is, or, you know, I'm interested in this, but I don't know where to start, or how can you help me? And so as professionals, and now, you know, as a practitioner now, I went through training last year, but it's so much easier to now write protocols for people, because some people are far too sick to do XYZ. They need to start on here, you know, and so we have like 6 to 10 leaders that cycle through these different calls and can answer these questions for all the people who are raising their hands.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. And looks like Dan has a question. The last thing I would ask you is, do you have calls for, besides I know Carrie does a rotating regenerative health call for clients that can come and ask questions. Do you do a Q&A or a highlight call for people who have come through and just to talk about success that other people are having?
Yes, we have 2 customer calls a week.
Customer calls. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Where they share their experiences, they're excited to, you know, or they might have health questions like, why is my poop black? And we're like, great, that means it's working.
Thanks so much, Jen. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So many golden nuggets. Thank you so much. Dan, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to unmute so you can ask your question of these ladies.
Awesome. Well, such an amazing ultimate business transformation from both of you ladies. And also Taz Ferreira, I really love that that Easter, how to have an environmentally friendly Easter. But on a side note, always, a big fan of the Million Mile movement and the movement of many. I think this is my first time chatting on this call, actually. But I was just very intrigued by the ladies' ultimate business transformations and how they, I would say, break away from the 9-to-5 kind of mindset. So that employee versus employer type of mindset. If you have any, I guess, recommendations or tips for the rest of the field.
Yeah, I can go unless Lisa has to jump off or something, but it took me some learning curve because at first I was very much like, I'm an entrepreneur and you're going to do it this way. So all of my new business prospects got like the bossy Jen. When I first started, that was all I've known. I have a huge team of people that I basically tell them exactly how to do it and they have to do it my way because it's my business. And I mean, I'm not that mean, but it's just, it's such a different mindset that when you are training up leaders, they have their own business. It's their own business. They can do it however they want. But there are certain things, proven duplication that works here. And so, and then helping them see the potential that, hey, you are in a 9-to-5, this is exactly what let's say if I was your bossy sister or bossy brother or whatever, if you would allow me to be, this is how I would do it. I would wake up at 5 a.m. I would work your business for 1 hour before your children get up. At your lunch break, you're eating lunch, you're sending follow-ups on your phone. When you get home, you're doing 30 minutes of, admin time. You're inputting all that information into the system. And so in the beginning, it's like I had to kind of figure out how to not be bossy and encourage and pull out their unique selves and what fuels them, because something that motivates me is going to be different than what motivates you or someone else. And so why are you doing this business? And really getting into more of a mindset of listening. Being an active listener is something that has been a proven time and time over again. If I can talk less and listen more to that person, I can really truly hear them and see who they are and pull things out of them that will ignite their fire. And then for myself, getting out of the 9-to-5 was simple because I was like, dang, I'm making way more money over here with less time. Because my whole, I don't know, there's a book about it, the 4-hour work week or whatever, but it's like, having multiple streams of income is what millionaires do. It's what people who are very savvy with money do, as they know to diversify their portfolios. And that's what we're doing here. We're building every single business partnership is another stream of income.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lisa, was there anything you wanted to add to that?
I just agree 100% with everything she's saying. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still, if anybody can take away, like I'm still learning. What I am seeing though is I'm watching what is happening faster and where the money is growing quicker. And so I've been able to step away more and more from the 9-to-5 and really focus on, it's just so intertwined for me right now. But yeah, also like Jen said, every team member, I've really just said, you get to do it your way and whatever lights your fire. And I love tapping into Deetra is my upline, and she has been a lifesaver. So huge.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for sharing and for answering all of our questions. We're going to actually share the pledge next. So Lisa, if you want to stay on, you could read the pledge for us. And I'm going to go ahead and share our Million Mom Movement website. It's millionmommovement.info. And then if you go to movement and go to join, you'll come on this page. And we're really locking arms with like-minded community. Our community is continuously growing, and we understand that the power and strength of a single voice holds in spreading this message of better health for ones we love on this planet. So by joining the Million Mom Movement, aka the movement of many, you are becoming part of a community of support, education, and motivation to band together with like-minded individuals to share the impacts of glyphosate has on our community. So we often share, we're going to go into a section in a minute and share a little bit more about our activism that we do here on this call. But on this website, it also has some information about what you can expect from joining us, gain information, join us weekly on Fierce Fridays, and become a part of our community. And so you can also join us, get involved with the Million Mom Movement. If you're new here, reach out to the person that invited you here, because they invited you because they care and they really wanted you to hear this message and get to learn from our entire community and hear these stories firsthand. So we want you to go ahead and share this far and wide with your community. And if you'd like to, you can print out this pledge. You can, screenshot it, put it on your home screen of your phone, whatever makes sense for you. I have it printed out and laminated on my fridge, so my kids see it every time they open the fridge. And, really helping them, because I have teenage kids too, Lisa, and, they don't always do exactly what I would like them, making the choices I would like them to make. And so I want them to have this first and foremost. They see it every day. And so if you'll go ahead and read this to us, we would love to just invite you to do that.
Okay, hope I can see it. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I love that. And this is something that we're really passionate about. On that website, you can also find tons of recipes. There's a recipe section and so much more. So if you haven't seen that website before, make sure that you go, you check it out. You can share some of those resources, share it in your stories, take screenshots or whatever you need to do to share it far and wide with your community and inspire them to join us every Friday. We really are growing this movement, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you joining us here today. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my colleagues to share the next part. I'm going to open up my page for the glyphosate and go ahead. I'm going to pass it over to you, Michelle.
Thanks, Naiva. Thanks, everyone. And this is, like Naiva said, our activism part, where we are following the Detox Project, Glyphosate Detox Project report on glyphosate. So normally we go through this and we find a page on Instagram and we ask them to address the high levels of glyphosate. The great thing is that we're more towards the bottom, and the Glyphosate Project included a section on what doesn't have high levels of glyphosate or any detectable for that matter. So how exciting that we get to highlight these companies as well. And so this is Kind Bars, and we've actually asked them in the past about glyphosate found in some of their products, but this time we're going to highlight them for two products in particular that don't. So Naiva, if you're on the Instagram page, it is the picture of the gentleman that, let's see, Naiva, you're sharing a...
It's their only post on the Kind.
No, it's a different page. Hang on one second. And
are you able to pull it up?
It's Kind Snacks.
Okay.
And you'll see the 4 colors of the Kind logo. That should be their actual official page. And so guys, grab your phones while she's doing this, and you can do the same thing. And we're going to go and leave a comment and thank them. So once this opens, my comment is on the 5th one down. It's a picture of a fella. There he is with an arrow pointing to, that's the almond bar. And if you look in the comments, And you can do this on really any one of them, but here we are. And I just let them know that I'm a member of the Million Mom Movement, and we're focused on glyphosate education based on the report. While some of their products do contain unsafe levels, it's been brought to our attention that the blueberry vanilla cashew and the caramel almond sea salt has no glyphosate detected. So just saying thank you and for providing safe options. And this is how we use our activism to raise awareness with other people. So please leave a comment. The next thing that you can do after you leave a comment is make a reel of your post and tag the Million Mom Movement, because we would love to highlight you on our page. And that's another way to widen your reach. If you're new, you might know what that means. If you're old, you definitely know what that means. So thank you for sharing that, Naiva. Yep. And let us know. We always want to be tagged, which leads me to the next, we're going to close out here. So next week is April 14th. We're going to be doing plastic-free business. So we get to interview Dave Sandoval on the Plastic-Free Packaging Alliance. And Naiva, maybe you can remind me of Sheena's last name and what she does.
Absolutely. So Sheena Fortner is a dear friend of mine, and she is the CEO of Carbon Market Exchange. And what they do is they help companies offset their carbon footprint. So for instance, there's many companies out there that use more than what they're allotted for their carbon emissions. And when they use more than what's allotted to them, they actually have to pay to use more carbon emissions than what they're allotted. So think big gasoline companies and big industry companies where they're creating a large carbon footprint, they actually have to pay for using more carbon than what they're allowed. And what this money goes to is people like Greenpeace, or people that are growing trees and planting orchards and offsetting this carbon footprint. And so we're able to donate money to them for offsetting these carbon emissions. And so I introduced my dear friend to Dave about a month ago, and they had an incredible conversation. And Dave was so excited because she was actually sharing with him that the carbon market exchange can help Purium because we actually use way less than our carbon emission allows for our huge company and the amount of products that we produce. So because of that, the carbon market exchange is going to be basically giving dividends back to Purium that they can reinvest into this plastic-free packaging and the Plastic-Free Alliance. And so we're going to be sharing more about that next week, and Sheena will be on the call as well.
And that was a big leveraging point for when we were at the expo, to be able to talk to companies who want to go plastic free, but didn't have the money. We're not only a pathway for these small companies because we can order in bulk and help and support them, but also because even though they're paying a little more for the packaging, there's a reward system for that. So by helping, by investing in Purium, you're investing in the earth and reducing all of our carbon footprints, as Dave likes to say. So that's next week. Don't miss it. Invite everyone. You definitely want to reach back out to the person who invited you here. We'd love to invite you to the Million Mom Movement official Facebook page. Definitely keep joining us here every Friday. We love our community for our health and wealth focused presentations, and invite your friends. And please follow us on Instagram. I dropped some links below for all of the council members. I think Jen put hers in here. Lisa may have as well. The links to the replays are in the bio. Use that hashtag Million Mom Movement so that we can repost, like I mentioned, pictures of kids, lifestyles, team posts, mom life, superfoods, recipes, clean living, home-based business stories, as well as your activism around glyphosate. We love, love, love the content. And then want to just give two special announcements. One is we're still looking for 10 and 15-second clips from the field similar to the one in the kids video that we made about 8 years ago. And you can send those to the type form Naive is going to throw in the comments. And also, we're getting ready to launch at the end of this month the Million Mom Movement recipe book. So we're so excited about that. Some of you have actually been giving us some recipes, and we really appreciate it. We would also love for you to include a nice picture so that we can put it in the recipe book to go along with it. So if you have any recipe ideas that you love that are vegan, that are, or with the shakes, or your favorite mocktails, sides, desserts, main dishes, please send them to any one of us or to any one of our pages, and we'll get them in before we launch at the end of the month. So you're not going to want to miss that. Back to you, Naiva.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Michelle, for all those great announcements. Thank you so much to our guests for joining us here today. And thank you to each and every one of you for taking this time out of your life to join us weekly on Fierce Friday. Please join us again next week and have a great weekend.
And I see a comment